Terry Cutler is an international award-winning cybersecurity expert and ethical hacker. Known for his catchy online videos, numerous television appearances, live public speaking events, extensive coaching products, and top-level consulting services. Over the past 20 years, he's advised some of Canada's largest companies on how to prevent and remedy internal and external security penetration. For the general public, he developed an effective online learning program called Internet Safety University. With over 39,000 students from over 150 countries, he's helped educate his pupils on cybercrime, spying, security failures, internet scams, and the real social networking dangers that families and individuals face every day. Terry was named IFSEC Global's top 20 most influential people in cybersecurity for 2018, 2019, and again in 2020. And was also awarded 2017 Cybersecurity Educator of the Year award. He was also named to the Chief Information Security Officer Platform Top 100 Influencers. Please welcome your host, Terry Cutler.
Hello, everyone. How are you? Can you guys hear me okay? Maybe just type yes into the chat. Make sure I'm not on mute. How's it going? I just wanted to wish you all a very happy new year. I apologize for not jumping on sooner. The last couple of months have been insane. So while we wait for other folks to just jump on quickly, the topic today is going to be about how and why businesses are being hacked so easily. So if you're serious about protecting your business from cyber criminals, then I want to offer you guys a free dark web report to see if your business is possibly at risk. So you can head over to cybersecuritymadeeasy.com. Well, once we're done here. So let's get started, okay? So the reason why I'm making this video is because, as I mentioned earlier, from November to December last year, we've dealt with about 4 customers that were all hacked because one of their important passwords leaked onto the dark web, and it caused an email business compromise or a ransomware attack, and it cost some of these businesses between $50,000 and just over $300,000. Okay, so the common feedback I always get from these businesses when we talk about cybersecurity is that, well, we make clothes for a living. Who's going to want to hack us? Or we make tempered glass. Who's going to want to hack us? We're a flower shop. Who's going to want to hack us? We're a dentist office, right? So you get the drift. Or the other one I get is, oh, I'm a solopreneur. Who's going to want to hack me? So let me just quickly talk about what the dark web is for those of you that are not familiar. So the dark web is pretty much the criminal underbelly of the internet. This is where you can buy illegal drugs. If you want to hire an assassin, you can do that there. And one of the things that's often sold there is passwords and access to a company. So, for example, let's say I hacked into a business. I never told anybody about it, and I want to sell that access onto the dark web to a cyber criminal. I could do that. It's legitimate access that's fully functional right now. It's working. So one thing is that they always come back, and I'm sure you've seen in the news, right? Oh, we got hacked by this sophisticated hacking group, and they were so well prepared. But what would surprise you to know that it's probably because you use the same password everywhere, that cyber criminals got a hold of that password and then used it to sign into your business and cause the hack to happen. So I'll give you an example. We see a lot of cases where let's say a VP or an IT administrator will sign up with a real estate company, and instead of using his personal Gmail account or his Hotmail account, he's going to use his corporate email. And most like most people, they'll use the same password everywhere. And then when that company gets breached, let's say the real estate company, well, they can reuse those passwords to sign into your business. Okay. So let me talk about quickly about another story that happened. So those of you that have 40 nets, you've heard about some big vulnerabilities that happened last year where there was a vulnerability that exists to the firewall, and then there was like 75,000 credentials that leaked for the business. Well, one thing that happened, which was very interesting, is that cyber criminals were able to hack into the environment using these flaws, and then they were able to launch a ransomware attack. but not a traditional ransomware attack. What they did was they used TrueKip and BitLocker to BitLock 400 computers. And even though they had EDR set up, endpoint detection and response technology, which is made to stop ransomware attacks, it wasn't able to stop it because these are legitimate tools that were used. Okay, so 400 computers were ransomed or locked, I should say, and they were asking for $10,000. So the customer thought, oh wow, it's only $10,000. I'll pay it right away. But it was actually $10,000 per computer. So it was like $4 million. Okay, so one of the questions I get asked is, well, okay, well, how are these credentials compromised? And that happens through various ways. It could be through a phishing attack. So you'll receive an email and you'll click on a link. It's going to ask you to sign into your business email or maybe your corporate Facebook account, and you're actually going to give away the username and password to the cyber criminal. Or they'll call you up, they'll trick you into giving those credentials. Or it could also be that you clicked on a link you weren't supposed to, and malicious software got into your company, and at this point, it sniffed out the passwords and was able to send those back to the cyber criminals, and they were able to reuse it. So now they have their password. What's the worst they can do to your environment? Well, the biggest one is they can actually install a ransomware into your environment. That's the worst part. Um, so they'll install malicious software in there. They're going to steal your corporate or your employee data, maybe some intellectual property. We've seen cases where funds were transferred to another business. There could be moderation or modification of data, so deleting sensitive information. Obviously we spoke at ransomware at length, and of course they're modifying sensitive information. So, and that's why I think there's two parts to this problem. One of them is that there's not enough business owners that really care about cybersecurity until it's too late. And the other reason is that there's not enough resources to help everyone. Okay. We have like a 2 million personnel shortage in our industry with really talented cybersecurity experts. So, and a lot of times it's going to be too expensive for these folks. They'll think, oh, yeah, no one's going to want to hack me. But then when they get hacked, it's extremely expensive. Okay. So if you're serious about protecting your business and you want to have a free dark web report to see if your password's leaked on, then click the link below or visit cybersecuritymadeeasy.com and we'll run this report for you. So one of the things when we talk about protecting your business is that we all know that we need to create strong passwords, turn on multi-factor authentication, don't click on links you're not supposed to, watch out for suspicious websites, ransomwares, viruses, worms, Trojan horses, logic bombs, zombies. Okay, and then you got to worry about what antivirus to install. Trust me, I get you. Okay, I could totally relate. I mean, how could you not feel overwhelmed with this stuff? And just think about it. I subscribe right now to over 30 email lists that tell us, like, every time there's a data breach that occurred or if there's new vulnerabilities that exist. And every email that comes in says different stuff, right? So even we feel overwhelmed on our side. There's just so many attacks happening right now. It's really hard to stay on top of things. So when I talk to business owners after they've been breached and such, I always ask them, why didn't you take care of this before? And they've always had a similar theme where they talk about their biggest frustrations and turnoffs when it comes to cybersecurity. And the biggest one is, well, obviously, cybersecurity is not interesting, right? And a lot of times, cybersecurity could actually slow their business down. So security is not about convenience, folks. Okay, it's about protecting your data, prevent you from getting lawsuits, and possibly even losing your business. It happened once in 2020 where a company got hit with a ransomware attack, and it was so expensive. I was sure they were actually going to go out of business. It was crazy. So they also see that they're not a high value target, let's say, okay, because again they're selling shirts or they're selling glass. Why is a hacker going to want to hack me? But think about it. They're there to make money off of you. Anything from hacking your personal Instagram account to ransoming your business, they just want money from you. And they're going to ask for money in Bitcoin, which is somewhat of a untraceable currency, where you're not going to want to spend tens of thousands of dollars with lawyers to go after these folks. So they want to make sure it's a smaller amount. Actually, for business, it's not that small anymore. Some of these businesses, when they get hit with a ransom, they're asking right away for $100,000 USD to get your data back. And this is where they've actually added in, like, we'll say, a double extortion, we'll say. So let's say that you get hit with a ransomware attack, and you were able to recover your data because you had a proper backup, a secured backup. Well, now they're going to say, well, you know what, Mr. Customer, good for you. You're able to restore your data, but now you're going to pay us not to leak your data, because if this data leaks, it can cause reputation damage, lawsuits. You'll have the privacy commissioner after you, depending on how sensitive the information is. It can get nasty really quick. Another thing they say is that, oh, there's too much techno babble. The average person doesn't understand what they're saying to them. So their IT guys like, oh yeah, you got to get this new EDR and make sure it has TCP/IP filtering and all these port scanning. Like, it has to have all these things. And the management is like, what on earth are you talking about? Like, how much is this going to cost? $50,000? No, it's too expensive. I don't need it. So you need to be able to properly articulate what the risks are to the business owner so they can make better decisions. Another problem they had was, well, remembering so many passwords. So they create crappy passwords and reuse them everywhere, like we're seeing now. And of course, they're going to get sticker shock with the price of hiring a cybersecurity firm to come in and help them out. Okay, it's not $50, to come help you out. It's thousands of dollars an hour sometimes, and they just want help now, right? They don't care about how it's done. They just want to get back up and running as quickly as possible. Just solve my problem, and that's it. So let me share with you an actual story that happened. Actually, I'll share a couple with you. Um, but again, if you have to drop off and stuff, and if you're serious about protecting your business and you want to get a free password check to see if it's leaked onto the dark web, then just click the link below. Head over to cybersecuritymadeeasy.com. Let us run a dark web report for you, and we'll take care of that. So let me talk to you about a couple of stories that happened with some new clients that we picked up. Obviously, the biggest one that we've been dealing with are what's called business email compromises. It's where the password leaked onto the dark web and the customer is not using two-factor authentication, right, which is the advanced security feature for all of your services. They're able to sign in to the VP's email, and they're able to download all the contents of the inbox, which obviously has sensitive information, right? It could be employee data, it could be plans for the business, and that was very, very damaging to their business because we don't know where the data went to, and because it's so hard, it's very, very hard to trace back how the hackers got in. We even dealt with an MSP, a managed service provider, that got hacked into, and they were able to ransom 40 of their customers overnight. This was sometime in November, and they asked for hundreds of $1,000s to get their data back. And one of these clients was a dentist office. You would think, why would a dentist office care if they, about cybersecurity? But let me tell you how fast these bills actually rise up. So because there's very sensitive information in these databases, client information, right? Think about you when you go to a dentist. What do you give out, right? You could have social insurance numbers in there for your insurance, the insurance carrier, where you live, all that sensitive information is in there. Personal identifiable information. So now to get that data back, they want $100,000. We're able to negotiate it down to about $40,000. So there's $40,000 just to start. Now we have to go and clean up the environment. Now this dentist office had about 40 computers, and we can deploy some technology in there that costs at least $10,000 to start off, which goes and looks for suspicious activity in the network. And in this case was a little bit more particular because he was a former IT guy and he didn't trust the environment. So we want to wipe the whole place clean, reinstall it from scratch, like some other customers do too. And now we're talking, $50,000, $60,000 to reinstall the whole place. Then you got to deal with lawyers. And in the end, long story short, a bill like this could be close to $300,000. Okay, this could destroy a dentist office. That's why you need to have cyber insurance. If you don't have cyber insurance, sometimes it's even harder to get cyber insurance these days because the carriers now are clamping down. If you don't have endpoint detection and response technology, if you're not monitoring the dark web, if you're not training your users, if you don't have proper patch management in place, they're not even going to insure you. They're going to say, buddy, you're on your own. Okay, because now what's happening is these carriers are losing $5 for every dollar they're getting in. So, and if you don't have the proper, at least the basics in place to protect your business, they're not even going to insure you. Okay. So that's why how the dentist's office was able to save that money because his cyber insurance covered it. However, they still got a warning saying that, by the way, we're not renewing you next year. Okay, so that's why it's very important that you make sure you have proper cybersecurity hygiene in there. We had another situation mid last year where an administrator password leaked onto the dark web, and they were able to take that password and sign in, and they were able to launch a ransomware attack into the company. But here's the challenge that we're also seeing a lot of is with traditional IT guys. They're not given the proper guidance to the business on how to protect their environment. So I always tell folks, your IT guy is like your family doctor, right? Would you ever ask your family doctor to perform laser eye surgery on you? Right? Most people would say no. So this is where a cybersecurity expert will actually complement them. So long story short, he told the IT guy saying, no, you don't need to have antivirus on your Microsoft Exchange server, your email server, because it just slows things down. And they managed to get in through the Exchange server and ransomware the place. And even though they had EDR on some of their other workstations, because the ransomware launched from a machine that didn't have EDR on it, the other machines weren't able to see it or stop it. So they lost their data in that case. And that's why dark web monitoring services like ours, for example, is really so important, because we're always monitoring the dark web for, like, say, in hidden chat rooms. We're looking to see if any passwords are being shared there. We're looking at social media platforms, some dark web markets, botnets. There's so many places that we can find this information from to help protect you. And this is the same technology that's being used in Fortune 500 companies that are now available to small, medium-sized businesses. Okay, and it's really at a budget. So we're also looking at things like it provides compliance requirements as well, especially if you have cyber insurance. Okay, and also provides remediation. It's good to know that your password leaked and has actually been detected, so you can go and change it before it's too late. Okay, so to wrap this all up now, this could all have been avoided if we just learned about the prevention in the first place. Had you received that email to say that, yay, your password leaked, change it before it's taken advantage of. That would have really helped a lot of these companies. And the other issue we're seeing is that not many businesses have two-factor authentication turned on. They make a lot of excuses for this. They're saying that, oh yeah, our users find it too complex, so they don't turn it on. But they don't realize that if their password leaked onto the dark web and they had signed in and had the two-factor authentication turned on, it would have prompted the hacker for that 6-digit code that would have been on that person's phone or in the email. So it would have stopped him there. But unfortunately, because they think it's all about convenience, they're able to break in. So that's why it's unfortunate this stuff has to happen before it's too late. Okay. So basically, that's all I have for you today. So if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. Let me see if there's anything that came in. Nope, no questions so far. So I just wanted to thank you so much for tuning in. And of course, don't forget, if you want to have your dark web report, then just head over to cybersecuritymadeeasy.com and I'll have my team run that for you right away. Have a great day, everyone.
From basic auditing to monitoring the dark web, to phishing and awareness training, to building your policies and procedures and disaster recovery plans, to manage detection and response and mapping your company's IT to compliance frameworks using best practices, to a nationwide tech force to help you with remediation after a data breach or ransomware attack. You'll have everything you need in a partner to help secure and grow your business. Meet Cyology Labs, your trusted accountability partner to help you keep an eye on your cybersecurity and transform the way you present yourself to the world, your partners, and your vendors. Start with a basic audit to help you identify your organization's security deficiencies and areas of strengths and weaknesses against the latest cybersecurity frameworks. This audit will help explain where you are and where you should be and where you need to be. Next, we can help you implement the products and solutions you need to help you qualify for cyber insurance and help prevent a data breach. Call Cyology Labs now at 1-844-CYOLOGY to speak with a cyologist and get started today.